This is the TST Electric Bike, full suspension moped-style e-bike I've been riding for 6 months. From my experience, this thing is all about easy power and convenience, with a few quirks you'll want to know before you pull the trigger. Key features that sold me up front were the 1500-watt peak rear hub motor, the 48-volt battery minus the 15 pack, dual suspension, and the full lighting package with turn signals. On paper, it claims up to 28 miles per hour via the app and long range. In my opinion, the real magic here is how it blends scooter-like throttle riding with bicycle simplicity. If you're new to e-bikes, a quick note, 1500 watts peak means the motor can briefly push to that power for acceleration in hills. 90 newton-meters of torque is what helps you get moving fast and climb without grinding your knees. PS stands for pedal assist, which uses a speed sensor to add motor power while you pedal. And 48 volts 15 amp hours equals about 720 watts of battery capacity, which is a solid mid-size pack. Assembly took me about an hour and a half, unboxing to first ride. The steps were basic: front wheel, handlebar, fender alignment, pedals, and a few cable checks. But I did have to tweak the rear brake caliper to stop rotor rub. My fender bracket holes lined up, but the seat bolts were awkward to reach. Having a longer Allen key made it painless. I torqued every fastener and added a drop of medium thread locker on the stem and rack bolts, and that prevented any creaking or loosening later. If you've never assembled a bike, you can do it with patience and YouTube, but a shop check is worth it if you plan to ride fast or carry heavier loads. On the road, the motor is punchy and smooth. Throttle takeoff is quick without feeling jerky, and pass levels are spaced well, so you're not surprised when it kicks in. I kept the factory 20 miles per hour limit for the first week, then used the app to unlock higher speed and tested up to 28 miles per hour on a closed path. Just a heads up, check your local rules before you do that. At 22 to 25 miles per hour, it feels planted. Over that, the steering gets a bit twitchy because of the short wheelbase and stout fork. I've learned to keep my weight slightly back and a light touch on the bars. The bike shines carving through side streets and bike paths, and it handles potholes better than a hardtail thanks to the rear shock. The seat is long and generous, built for two. As a solo rider, it's comfy for about 30 to 40 minutes. Then I start wishing for more contour to support the sit bones. I added a thin gel cover, and that fixed most of the pressure points. The riding position is upright and relaxed. If you're taller than 6 feet, pedaling feels a bit cramped at higher speeds. The geometry is moped style, so I mostly use pass 1-2 for light spinning and rely on throttle when I want to cruise. Tires are 20x4 fat knobbies, great for mixed surfaces. It's perfect for neighborhood pavement, packed dirt, gravel, and even sand at low PSI. I've taken it on a beach access path, and it didn't bog down. In rain, traction has been predictable, and the fenders do a decent job of keeping the spray off. The mag wheels look slick and have stayed true, but remember, you can't true mags like you can with spokes. Don't slam curbs or you'll risk an expensive replacement. Brakes on my unit are dual mechanical discs, not hydraulic. They work, but they need regular cable stretching and barrel adjuster tweaks to keep the lever feel tight. After a month, I swapped to better pads and that improved bite. Later, I upgraded to cable to hydraulic calipers and stopping power jumped noticeably with less hand effort. If you're heavier, ride 2-up, or plan downhill runs, it's a worthwhile upgrade. The integrated lights and turn signals are a win. The headlight is bright enough for neighborhood riding and the brake light is very visible at dusk. I ride with a reflective vest anyway, but visibility here is solid. Range depends on how you ride. I'm 185 pounds and carry a backpack with tools and a lock. Pure throttle around 22 miles per hour nets me about 24-28 miles on the 15 8-hour pack. Flat terrain, mild wind. Mixing PS 1-2 at 14 to 17 miles per hour, I usually see 40 to 50 miles. Babying it on PS1 with gentle starts, I've managed just over 60 miles once, but that was slow and careful riding. I never touched anything close to 110 miles. That number only makes sense at very low speeds, light rider, and minimal stops. Charging takes me roughly 5 hours from low battery to full with the stock charger. The pack locks to the frame, and I bring it inside to charge. No swelling, no weird heat, and the range has been consistent through summer and early fall. Climbing is where the motor earns its keep. I have a steep neighborhood hill around 12 to 14% grade, and the bike climbs it seated on throttle with no drama. On a longer 8% grade, I use pass 3-4 and it holds 16-18 miles per hour without cooking the motor. The dual crown fork is firm but not harsh. The rear shock is soft from the factory, and I added preload to reduce wallow with a second rider. The frame feels stout. Rated max load is high, and I've done a couple short 2-up trips around the block, plus grocery runs with a trunk bag and bungees. It handled the weight and kept tracking straight. Controls are simple. The LCD screen is easy to read, though it fades a bit in direct noon sun. The left thumb throttle took me a week to love. I'm used to right-hand twist throttles from scooters, but I stayed stock because I like having my right hand free to modulate shifting and braking. The bell is basic. I swapped it for a louder one. The app is basic too. Speed limit, a few settings and diagnostics. Not fancy, but it does what it needs to do. Reliability over 6 months has been mostly good for me. 2 small hiccups. Once the display didn't wake up after a quick stop, I reseated the battery and it came right back. Another time, the rear caliper started dragging mid-ride. A 30-second adjustment fixed it. No controller failures, no throttle sticking on my unit. I did proactively check connectors and wrapped a couple with dielectric grease before summer thunderstorms. I also tightened the rear rack bolts around month 3. TST support responded to 1 ticket about a rattly fender stay and a cracked taillight lens. They answered within a day and shipped parts the next week. I can't speak for every case out there, but that was my experience. There are trade-offs. At about 72 pounds, this isn't a bike you want to carry up 3 flights of stairs. If you're hoping to get a cardio workout, the geometry makes strong pedaling awkward past 18 miles per hour. Steering at higher speeds demands attention. Keep both hands on the grips and don't death grip the bar. And if you're picky about braking feel, plan a pad upgrade at minimum, or go semi-hydraulic later. Where it shines is day-to-day practicality. The long seat and rack make errands easy. The lighting is ready for night rides. The motor is strong without feeling sketchy. The suspension smooths busted pavement. It's perfect for short commutes, campus shuttles, beach towns, and anyone who wants scooter vibes without dealing with plates or gas. I've used it for grocery runs, coffee trips, and weekend cruises on mixed paths, and it always puts a grin on my face. I'd recommend this for riders who prioritize throttle cruising, want a comfortable upright posture, and like the look and utility of a moped-style frame. If you're a purist who loves to pedal hard, wants a featherweight frame, or needs surgical stopping right out of the box, you might be happier with a lighter, more bicycle-forward design or budget for brake upgrades. In my opinion, the value is strong for what you get. Sturdy frame, real-world range that matches careful expectations, a motor that handles hills, and thoughtful extras like turn signals and a usable rack. The areas to watch are brake setup, bolt checks, and managing speed stability. Treat it like a small motorcycle in terms of maintenance habits, and it rewards you with reliable, fun transportation. In conclusion, the TST Electric Bike has been a solid part of my weekly routine. It's not flawless, but it's dependable when set up right. It rides comfortably on rough streets, and the power-to-price ratio makes sense for a practical, fun e-bike. I will leave all the information about the TST Electric Bike in the comments. I hope to see you again in the following videos.